Hello again, everyone. It is June 24th, 2025. I'm in Utica, New York, at the corner of Schuyler and Cleveland Ave, along the rails of the New York Susquehanna and Western. It's a little after 9 and about 81 degrees. We're in the midst of a small heat wave here. Got about 95 yesterday. It's going to be about the same today. And the Susquehanna is rolling down Schuyler Street. We'll catch them going by here as they make their way southbound. They had a pretty bad thunder and lightning storm on this past Sunday. It came into the area at 4 a.m. and lasted a couple hours. Resulted in a tornado touching down on the small community of Clark Mills, New York, about 4 miles from my home. It resulted in 3 deaths. The winds reached 105 miles per hour. The tree fell on a house and very tragically killed 2 6-year-old girls, twins. Another house in the same community, a tree fell on that structure, killing a woman. So 3 deaths in the small community of Clark Mills, New York. Together with an awful lot of rain, major flooding. There are 6/10 of a mile of street running here on Schuyler Street. Up front today is a leased CSX engine. It'll no doubt be a challenging day for the crew because of the heat. Be told, my dog is taking it easy in the comfort of the office right now. With air conditioning, he's all set. boxcars are heading for a customer in nearby New Hartford. The hoppers will be going down to customers in Sangerfield, about 22 miles south of here. I think we'll catch them a little bit on their way heading down to Sangerfield. I'm now along French Road in Utica, a few miles, no more than a few miles from the last video location. This milepost NY 233 was formerly for the West Shore Railroad, 233 miles from here to Weehawken, New Jersey. The West Shore was built in the mid-1880s, coming up from Weehawken, New Jersey to the Albany area and then westward to Buffalo. These tracks here are a remnant of the West Shore. They now tie into the Susquehanna's Utica main, which at one point was operated by the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western. The West Shore did cross the former NYS&W, Erie, Lackawanna tracks at a diamond just about a little bit beyond where the locomotive is right now. What they're doing is they're going to tie off the covered hoppers and come forward with the boxcars to take them to New Hartford, a few miles from here, to Oneida Warehouse, one of the biggest customers on the line. The West Shore diamond over what is today the Susquehanna's Utica to Binghamton main line was removed about in early 1970s, 1972 I think, and this line was tied into the Susquehanna's main line. The crossing protection here is controlled by regular traffic lights. When the trackside signal that you see that's currently red turns to green, the engineer will know that it's okay to come forward if the traffic lights have turned red. And to complicate things just a little bit more, the crew won't get to Oneida Warehouse, New Hartford on West Shore tracks exclusively. About a quarter of a mile from here, they'll switch over to former Utica Division tracks of the New York, Ontario, and Western, which have also been tied into this present-day network of trackage operated by the Susquehanna. So they're inching their way towards me now. The West Shore, shortly after its completion, was incorporated into the New York Central system. I'm now at the end of what once was the O&W's Utica Division. In 1957, the O&W went out of business, and the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western picked up Utica area tracks in order to maintain service to New Hartford and Utica customers. So this is the end of the line. You can't get to Randallsville, New York from here anymore. Randallsville is where the Utica Division hooked up with O&W's main line to Oswego. So Susquehanna is making their way down these former O&W tracks. They're going to pull up just a little bit past that switch and begin a reverse move to New Hartford's Oneida warehouse. The boxcars contain paper products, 500-pound bales of paper. These tracks are in much better condition than they were in O&W days. Up until recently, the ballast was just cinder. One of the engineers who operated here told me that before they did the track improvement here, he used to get some bits of coal dust coming up from the tracks on his arms, because the train coming by would kick up a little bit of dust. Can make out bits and pieces of coal along the right-of-way here. The track improvement project took place a couple of years ago. New ties, new ballast. For the old woman. The old woman being one of the monikers given by some to the Ontario and Western, along with old and weary. A few hours later, the crew finds itself stopped just short of the Genesee Street crossing in Utica. They stopped to send someone over to a convenience store, a Stewart's, grab a bite to eat. They'll be moving on in just a minute. I'm at the former New Hartford station of the Delaware, Lackawanna and Western Railroad. Now the beer hub. Here they come. Passenger service ended here in April 1950. This land is now within Utica city limits, but at one point it was the town of New Hartford. When the land went over to the city of Utica, the railroad kept the station named New Hartford. It's now 88 degrees, a little cooler, of course, here in the woods, traveling on a path that Vitold knows well, but he'll stay in the office. It's a little too warm for me to keep him in the car. About 20 minutes later, I'm on one of my favorite streets, a railroad street in Clayville, 10 miles or so south of the Utica Yard. This section of the railroad is on Paris Hill, very tough grade. Real cool old stone wall, probably original to the railroad, dating back to the late 1860s. I see the gates going down for the lower main crossing. They'll slow down a bit once they get past that crossing, because crossing up here on what's known as upper main needs to be replaced, so there is a slow order over that crossing. Well, I'm up at Paris Station now. This location offers a fine panoramic view and a freshly cut hayfield. Jason, I'm not going to trample on your hay, but anyhow, this is very close to the summit of Paris Hill. My friend Jason owns that farm over yonder. That's Lincoln Davies Lumber Company. They've been up here since 1872. That might be Jason coming up the hill now. And it's quite a hill. A little cooler up here, but not much. And the engine just now is cresting Paris Hill summit. So from Paris Station, New York, with some guys and girls who know how to stay cool in the shade, this is Railroading Rambler saying thanks so much for watching the video, and we will catch you all farther on down the line. Stay cool, girls. Stay cool.